Well, no Coddle, no Earthshaker, no Lena. So that's some welcome changes coming through for sure.
Yeah,
What else have we been seeing a little bit more commonly?
maybe
an Oracle. Like you can, if you've got decent vision, you can charge up that Fortune's End on yourself right before the global silence potentially gets popped, and have yourself purge yourself when it does go off. Pretty high skill play to make though. All right.
What's wrong, Danog? What's wrong with the Pudge getting picked up?
I mean, nothing really, right? Because you already have slows. Like we said before, right? They have an easy way to set up into the hook with the Electric Vortex. I'm going to need to see more, though. Not just that. You can't have that on its own, in my eyes.
Yeah, it was... The stuns were nice in the previous game where Aster at least had like Stormhammer and Shackle to really set up for the Pudge hooks. So we'll see how Elephant are going to continue to enable him potentially, because Borax had a really good game on the Pudger, and we'll see how Elephant can play it. I mean, maybe this could be a Eurus Pudge again. There was a lot of experimentation pre-patch with CTM on Neon playing the Pudge one, and then of course also Arme as well. But again, the Undying in the Pudge.
I'm gonna need to see the core. I'm gonna need to see the core Undying. I want to see it work. Even position 3, I'm totally fine with it. But I think Pos 1 can play it as well. Honestly, it feels very similar to what they were going for last time, and the big mistake that they made was that Siamese Cat, he went like a Holy Locket build super early on, but he only had 2 points in the Soul Rip. He maxed out the Tombstone well beforehand. Not that Tombstone's a bad ability, but I feel like if you're opting to go into this Holy Locket defensive style, then you need to actually go all in onto it. And, missing out 2 points in such one of your key abilities, well, the only thing that's actually going to be healing your Deucer or whoever else is a bit of a misplay. So if this isn't a core Undying, then we'll see if there is able to change around with that. I do want to see it as an off lane though, right? Because it's one of those heroes that's able to take stacks really well. All you need to do is drop the Tombstone right in the middle of the ancient camp as well as a hard camp if it's stacked up, and it's very easy to quickly clear them.
Yeah, I really want to see the Silencer one. In fact, like I think you play really well into Deucer. Like on paper, I was thinking like, Intel being able to steal that versus Deucer, that feels great. As a support, you're not going to be able to steal as much intel as what you would as a position 1, and I'm pretty sure Silencer still has an attack range talent. I'm like, you can double check that for me if he does, but like on paper it feels great. Anyone that counters the Medusa is how you outrange her: Drow, TB, Arc Warden. And then Silencer also has a way to kind of get rid of the intel and then lower that menace shield, and which is your effective health. And then it's also a good lane versus the Undying. They don't have the greatest way to gap close. And the only reason why I'm really bringing up as much, because you were saying like these TI teams, this is time for them to experiment. So they definitely could go into it if they want to.
They could, and you're right. He does have an attack range talent at level 15. It replaces the, it doesn't replace anything. But with the more recent patch, they nerfed the Arcane Curse slow, I believe. So it was 10%. Now it's 8%. And also at level 20, it went from 1.5 times last word int multiplier down to 1.2. So, I mean, small nerfs to the more carry style, but it just makes the other talents on the opposing side of the talent tree a little bit more valuable. And hell, one of those is that attack range. The only worry, of course, is compared with a Deucer, a Silencer does not scale. You don't have the same farming potential. It starts to make it up a little bit once you get to level 20 and you can get the Aghanim Shard, which makes your glaives bounce around a little bit like a Luna, but it's still nothing next to the scale of what a Medusa is capable of.
Dire team pick.
Centaur. Okay, we haven't seen this hero in a very long time. Gives you a great way to reset away from the...
Against what, though? The Rolling Thunder? That's about it.
Yes, they already have a pretty good hero in Deucer versus the Pango Rolling Thunder. Like, I've seen a lot of Pangos picked into the Medusa. Lucky Shot's great and all for the disarm, but overall your ultimate, it's not the easiest to play into a Stone Gaze. So It's also a really good pairing with the Centaur line. Like it's a double stun lane. You always have kill threat in that regard. You don't see Elephant's position 1, and which means you just want to go for more of like a safer route, I suppose, in the Centaur.
A ranged hero? Yep.
You may now
Cool.
Just all you need to do is stay away from being double stunned, and well, the Clinks is certainly going to be able to do that. I don't mind it on Eurus here. I feel like you're going to be able to pump out a ton of damage in these team fights as well. We talked about the difference in scaling when you compare the likes of a Silencer to a Medusa. Well, Clinks, now that with the Burning Barrage, you're actually able to take some stacks a lot more quickly. You're not just this purely single target focused position 1, which I really like. I like that they've added that. I mean, it's going to sound corny, but that quiver to his bow.
Just gives him...
I was going to say it before I realized he was the bone archer, all right?
It's okay, I understand. You are the king of puns. I know you try and pull them out whenever you can. Just, you yourself, you're going to be quiver like puns.
I don't like this Centaur, though. Like, I just don't seem to see what it provides to them. Like you mentioned, the Medusa is going to be plenty for what you need to be able to counter the Rolling Thunder. If someone gets zipped in on and the Storm Spirit uses the Vortex, then, you know, Stampede's just going to get everyone else away, but not the target that's actually getting attacked, so it's not going to be that effective. And then, of course, the Global Silence, until you build into something like a Lotus Orb, which is pretty good value this game, I have to be said. It's just not going to get the value that we would want out of it for mine.
Yeah, so the Centaur is a hero. I mean, his Hoof Stomp actually got nerfed. Got decreased the maxed out stun duration from 2.6 to 2.5, which is, it's not a lot at all. The main thing is, I guess, the Stampede, the strength multiplier, max level is up by 0.25, and the slow duration is only up by 0.2. So really not big changes to the hero. So we'll see how TZY can play it. I still do think like a Lion Centaur lane has got a lot of kill threat, and they're against a double range, so they are very, very position based on Elephant. Like they have to be ever so perfect on how they position that lane, otherwise that could really snowball out of control.
We're seeing 2 ships passing in the night. Do they get any vision down? They do, but it's not going to scout out any of the Elephant movement just yet. As well, they actually get rid of the Observer Ward, and they're going to clash here. Nice decay from Kaz, hitting onto 4.
It's like, okay, yeah, now we're not fighting till 1,000 health on dying.
It's a big boy already.
So, they got a great ward on the back line, so they are going to see all of MagMa currently still positioning around the bottom set of bounties. Are they going to mirror this movement top? Like, do you feel like Elephant have a stronger level 1? I'll do so.
Undying? Probably not.
Oh, no. Do so. FY! What a look. I don't know if it's going to matter. Although diving tier 1 tower with 5 heroes, you're able to tank up the objective, but Eurus will still sacrifice his life for getting the first blood to Somnus.
You're very happy with that. I mean, it's a mid-Storm Spirit against a Shadow Fiend. Eventually, the Shadow Fiend's going to be able to bully him out. So the fact that you're going to be able to get that bottle super early, he can afford it now, actually, if he wants to buy it and send it out. It's just going to make Dust's life even harder.
So I'm really intrigued to see. We saw the Shadow Fiend earlier. Were you impressed with that performance? It looked like they were very far ahead where we couldn't really feel the presence of it as much.
Yeah, I mean, for mine, I feel like the Shadow Fiend in that game was played how it needed to be, a lot more of the magic damage emphasis. This time around, I think physical is probably the way to go, right? Because you're going to be going up against these heroes that are a little bit more elusive, that you can't just pop everything and then have nothing left in your arsenal to be able to, turn around and fight if you get a Shadow Work off, or you get a Swashbuckle away, or you zip away on the Storm Spirit.
FI again with a hook. Needs one more right click, unfortunately. Won't find Mian, but that's a lot of resources now spent through the start of the lane here. And as you can see, of course, now, FY is actually playing in the safe lane here. So they just wanted a more beefy body to put in front of the Clinks. That was one thing I was highlighting, that, there could be potential issues from having a double range up top with their positioning wise. Maybe you got caught out. But now it means that Super can lane bot. A ranged intel, which trades pretty decently with Kaz.
It does, and Kaz actually just dropped the tombstone just prior to that, and Super ended up getting the last hit onto it. So it's 125 gold that went his way. A little bit of poor positioning coming out there. So yeah, the trades are always going to be beneficial, and I mean the faster he gets the boots of speed, the easier it is going to be for him to get these easy trades off.
FI he's inching closer and closer. He's just waiting for an opportunity to send this hook out. Would be nice. Would you like to see Dyer like try and make it easier for FY with potentially placing like a lane ward or oh, well there we go. Oh, it didn't drag him through.
Those damn trees.
Double. Oh, that's a big one.
Stun here.
That was nothing.
Yang and Super getting a very early kill on the Medusa, and also a thing to mention too is that through the last series we casted a MagMa, it was Dust playing the position 1 in both those games, and you know now they brought him back to the mid lane, and I like it because honestly with Dust, if anyone watched those qualifiers for TI, he was the outstanding player of MagMa. Like he carried them through game after game.
Yeah, for sure. May as well give him what he's comfortable with. Maybe just based on how the first 3 games of this I-League Season 2 have worked out, they're thinking, well, you know, we know that we're better than this. We know that we're more capable. And MagMa put on a very impressive showing in the TI qualifiers. They want to back it up.
Denied.
See how they're able to continue to enable the Medusa as this game goes on. I mean, 2 deaths unfortunately for her, so it's not like she's having the worst laning stage, 18 last hits, but you know, both teams have heroes that are able to flash farm it at a decent rate. As another hook as FY finds MagMa, so already starting to stack up the flesh heaps once he gets, of course, the level in it. So this is a great start for FY's Pudge.
It's one of the few advantages of the Pudge is that flesh heap is retroactive when compared to the silencer. So you don't need the flesh heap skilled in order to get the benefit of it later into the game, compared with silencer where you unfortunately do need at least the 1 point in the Glaives of Wisdom to get that insteal.
Kaz?
Yank can stand and fight here.
With all this damage mitigation, he's got a lot of stick charges too. Great communication, recognizing the importance of trying to bring down the tombstone at the start, and now it just enables them, if further brawl breaks up, then they can definitely stand their ground.
And that was again another kill going to
Can they
to
kill
Super
the Medusa? It looks like they can.
They can.
Man, this arcane curse damage is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm telling you, silencer's just straight busted. I just don't like the fact that, for me personally, in my FY, he's going in pretty deep, just TPing in right on top of Dust, who's got MagMa there to back him up. But he's a little bit faster.
It's just... He doesn't also stay nearby to soak up the experience, so I wonder if he's going to run back mid. Just doing the classic neutral creep shenanigans now that we see on the Pudge. And just, he's level 4 already. This has been a great start for FY.
It has. We've got a few stacks built up here by Super, so it's very nicely done for the Storm Spirit to be able to transition into the later stages of the game. Of course, the Burning Barrage, once the Maelstrom's available, is going to be able to take a lot of those really quickly as well. And not in a position to go in onto the Deucer just yet, with the Undying just about to respawn.
And all my eyes are on FY. At least this ward position from Radiant makes it a little bit easier to keep tabs on where the Pudge is positioning. But it's...
Yeah, Nian's just getting out of there.
Yeah, it's making sure he's nowhere near range for Pudge to be able to land the hook there. See, though, it's been a pretty even trade at the moment. Very minimal net worth disparison. Somnus is going to get lucky with the rune. It's up top. Maya actually taking a lot of damage though from the double raise, but looks like MagMa should be able to secure that one. Unfortunately for Somnus, he might need help from a support here. Does Super have a self? He doesn't. This is no luck, unfortunately. At least he's got a bounty. Never mind. He'll be alright.
I mean, even just having the Silencer on its own makes playing as this Shadow Fiend kind of tough, right? You get that Arcane Curse onto him before he gets his triple raise combo off, and you have to seriously consider if that's what you want to go down, right? Because it's going to be lasting for a long time. If you get the last word off towards the end of it, they're going to be ticking out for a lot of damage.
Middle tower is under attack.
Somnus, he's kind of making a rotation down towards this bottom side. He's low-ish on the health and mana. I'm not sure if they're in a position where they could go for a kill, although I suppose it's been communicated that the Deucer is sitting kind of low. He's going to make an attempt for it.
Might even be able to kill Kaz, who doesn't have any points Soul Rip. Instantly, though, Dust is going to TP down with the Invis. And
any detection? There
have
is.
a sentry to the northern side. Somnus, no, he stands back into the Requiem, and that fear is enough to charge up. The 2 times raised there to find the kill. And no, top lane's getting dived, super. It's going to be the extra numbers assistance they need to reinforce this side of the map, as still they don't have the level 6s right now, and TZY with the Vanguard is pretty much unkillable, but the hookshot from FY, they will force out at least the Stampede.
He's really holding off on those. Oh, nice. D ward as well, going to be coming down onto this observer ward. So make FY's life in lane even easier. And I'm sure Mian's like, well, see you later. Good luck, Centaur. I'm not staying in this lane even more. I think he might be able to get a stack off in time. Nope. He's just moving off to the side. A little bit of a misplay there, I'd say.
Somnus?
Middle tower is under attack.
It doesn't have enough mana. We were seeing another Storm Spirit go for this Soul Ring. Were we seeing it in the QH, or was it at the start of this tournament that we were seeing it a bunch?
I think both, but there's also... are they going to be able to get this observer ward with 3 seconds left on it?
FY again! Mian's doing a very good job to kind of control the clinks, which is the damage follow-up that they need. Maybe one more searing arrows into the right click from FY is enough, but his hooks have been on point so far from FY.
Eurus really doesn't want to use this Burning Barrage. I'm a little confused. You know, he's been in a position a few times to be able to get some good damage in onto it, and probably could have cleaned up the line there, but I suppose just not wanting to put himself in harm's way. He's getting so close to that Maelstrom that anything that slows that down is going to seriously hinder his ability to scale. I think maybe the reason why going into the the Soul Ring instead is that maybe going away from the mana regen talent a bit more into the static remnant damage, and they just want to have the mana to be able to sustain that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
FY is going to TP back to the lane, and now he might be able to pair with the Storm. They have Eurus nearby, which has got a decent amount of health and mana to play with. But this T1's falling very low. They're actually continuing to bring the numbers, so potential first Rolling Thunder of the game. Super's going to lead the charge. If Dusk can charge up the Requiem, a great use of the Rolling Thunder. Now they can prioritize the Shadow Fiend away from the help of the supports. The Rolling Thunder still not enough to disrupt the Shadow Fiend, and with the ultimate flying through, the Fear Lockdown not enough. As Somnus actually going to zip back aggressively. Now on top of Mian, he's got a lot of mana left in the tank to juke out and get the magic that will damage to kill off the Lion. Now is they even going to get back involved here to try and find Kaz as well, as the Undying gives Somnus a triple.
Surprising that worked out, honestly. They were at least able to get the tower there, and the fact that FY was basically inconsequential for that entire time is quite big. They've got the courier scouting out TZY. Will he be able to get the TP out in time? The hook!
Oh. I thought it was in range. He's been pretty on point so far. Almost.
You can look all you want, but he's long gone.
Yeah. Well, they don't successfully defend the tier 1 tower top, but nonetheless, Elephant, numerous amount of kills as, you know, Somnus 4-1-0, top of the net worth, and close by is the Clinks as well, as Eurus he's got this Maelstrom, and you see how fast he can take these stacks. Just really relies on the Rocket Barrage cooldown, but once that's back up, he's even going to make his own stack as well.
Rocket Barrage, huh?
Sorry, Burning Barrage. I've done... Man... Today's not a good day on naming abilities correctly. FY? Hey, there we go. Another one on the board here for the Pudge. Kaz too deep for any help. Look at that. Like, that's what Clinks really needed. Like, for such a long time, he never had a way to keep up in farm and get stacks and shove out lanes. Like, he had to put his body on the line, and it never felt like Maelstrom was like an incredible item on this hero. But now, the Burning Barrage, because it has the attack modifiers, it just works so perfectly. Like, look at that. Just completely
gone.
Yep. Like that I cannot stress enough was really one of the biggest issues with Clinks.
And I think one of the ways that you need to punish it is just in the laning stage, right? He went straight into the Falcon Blade and then straight into the Maelstrom afterwards, not even getting the boots until, once he's been able to take up some of these stacks. So
Somnus. Who's he going to target? Sets up for the hook shot, and now Dust's Requiem will offer no opportunity to give Kaz an extra opportunity, so the extra chance to get away.
But yeah, unless you're pressuring this Clinks, like, it was into what we mentioned before, like the dual stun lineup, right? But you don't really care because you're just a last pick Clinks that has the safety to stand underneath your tower. It was some good lane maneuverability coming through from Super there on the silencer, and just getting the pressure out there.
Stupendous.
Deuce has even gone for the Mask of Mana, so a lot of emphasis on a little bit of lifesteal, keeping himself afloat, and I guess just helping his farming speed? That's all I can really think of. We don't see a lot of the Mask of Madness Deuces.
You need to be able to stand and fight as well, which is always a little bit annoying against a Clinks. I mean, it's again another one of those heroes that can outrange you very nicely.
Well, they're coming on Dire.
Oh.
He's might just pop Stone Gaze instantly and look to turn. And I guess Elephant are happy with that. And more importantly, they're just wasting some of the camps he potentially could have been farming. I mean, you take a look at the comparison. Eurus is freely farming around the triangle with no one contesting him at the moment.
And a Chrysalis completed. So any of these supports are going to melt. Even an Undying, right? There's not too much that you can do.
But Yang?
Yang?
Charge up the Rolling Thunder. He might... Is he going to Stampede? He's not back on the high ground. Well, now he'll stampede to the backup of the team, at least their vicinity they're trying to connect to the Centaur. He's taking so much damage to the Arcane Curse, though, and the one more right-click, he'll fall. Super, my god.
It's so stupid. And he's not even level 10 yet.
Middle tower is under
Wait,
attack.
Piggy? How do you kill FY? 1400 health? Could as well. Dust, that's a beautiful Requiem. They're going to try and target down Eurus. They have the detection though. The Dust is out a little bit late, and Eurus actually is going to stand his ground and try and dish out as much damage as he can before he dies. They're targeting through the Shadow Fiend now after the Dismember, but Somnus, he hasn't prioritized him along with the Pudge. They'll finally get him afterwards, but still, without the damage on MagMa, they were unable to kill Somnus as this Storm Spirit reigning supreme so far in this game, 7-1-1.
You say the Storm Spirit's reigning supreme, I would have to say it's Yang. Even if you get off that beautiful Requiem, you're still fighting against multiple heroes. I think he got a 3-man shield crash again, so he's just able to stand there right in the middle, soak up all that damage with the extra health that he got from the Orb of Corrosion. He's got his additional HP from the Echo Saber.
Again, another Rolling Thunder.
Another play.
Yeah, this time TZY is not gonna have the same fate as the hooks off the mark from FY. Nonetheless, they'll still get the kill. They'll lead into a secondary kill. Why not just stack up some more Flesh Heap charges for FY? Oh, they're making them work for it. Oh, just sidestep the hook there. Now Yang's in trouble. Got another shield crash up. And okay, they both survive.
That was the raindrops again. Value. I'm sure he's going to buy up another one. Why not?
Oh my god, what the... Dude, that's crazy. It almost just killed the lion. What the hell? Oh my god. He's going to outrange Medusa at some stage in this game as well. He's going Scardy next item too. So all the attack modifiers here for the Clinks.
Why not? It's so easy to apply them to a ton of different units. He's switched up. He's going into the Gleipnir. Just wanting to take away that Centaur Stampede capability, I suppose.
Yeah, cool. Do you feel like Elephant are lacking a lot of control with their heroes? Because it looks like with the read of him going Gleipnir, that's probably what he thinks.
A little bit. I think you just don't... You know how I mentioned before how they were, like, very committal with all of their spells, right? Like, once you start a team fight, you just have to go all in on it. Rolling Thunder is basically your only super reliable team fight commitment. So at least with the Gleipnir, you can kind of like poke and prod, maybe force out a Stampede afterwards, and then you're in an advantageous position in the next team fight.
Under attack.
Yang.
Radiant
He's in on the
structures
front
are
lines.
fortified.
Got the blink reel. MagMa needs to be in a perfect position, but there is the use of the global silence to
Stone
prevent
gaze.
the chain lockdown. Still, the stone gaze, however, was out fast enough to lock out any retreat from Yang. Now the rest of Elephant looking to try and rally around their tier 1 tower. FY still might lead him with the hook.
He was hungry for it, you could tell.
Stampede, TZY is on top of Eurus. Hook shot on them. Beautiful hook from FY. And now Eurus too. They're still on top of him from MagMa. They don't have the finger of death, but Dusk can show up here with the raise damage. It's enough magical to kill off Eurus. Now they're looking to target down the Piggy as well. Somnus is still nearby, but with the numbers disadvantage that they have on Elephant, they just have to try and cut their losses here. It was a beautiful attempt from the hook, but unfortunately, yeah, not enough.
Another nice arcane curse as well, but yeah, the damage that you're able to output on the silence, unfortunately, unless you've got the vision and are capable of, you know, laying down the last word. He's even gone for a Veil of Discord here on the silence, so they're going in again on Yang.
Alright, he's got detection. He's also got Somnus for the follow-up as well, and that's an immense amount of burst damage. You see that Pango has gone...
Especially now that he's got the jab.
Yeah, it's just going to say he's gone very greedy with this build, not really enabling more of his initiation and teamfight prowess, but he's looking to scale and continue to ramp up the damage here with this Maelstrom getting picked up soon.
That's always going to be nice against the Deucer as well. You know, she's finished the Manta style, so she's going to want to be pushing out lanes on her own. Maelstrom, probably one of the better ways to deal with any kind of illusion hero. Not saying that Deucer is, you know, she's not like a PL or a Terrorblade, but to be able to deal with Manta illusions, it's one of the best ways.
Yeah, well, the old style Mask of Madness build here for the Deucer is giving her an immense amount of farm, as it's another pick off FY, landing the hook there. 7 charges here with the Flesh Sheep, and that was also a Bloodstone completed as well for Somnus' Storm, who's 9, 1, and 2, and continuing to pop off in this game 1.
Alright, that's a pretty fast Bloodstone.
That is a crazy fast Bloodstone. They might try and jump Yang, but again, like, look at FI's positioning. Such a beautiful position to disrupt them, Yang. Able to get the Rolling Thunder. They want to go back in after the bounce off the wall. They've got to be careful of the Deuce's physical damage. And now, even with a burning barrage on the outskirts, Eurus almost brings down the Undying from full to 0. But it just gives enough space so they can target TZY. Now, FY, a bit more of a peculiar positioning from him, but the lack of stuns are showing whenever the Centaur is not up and available.
And that's the thing, you could just run away from the Tombstone. That's the only downside to the way that MagMa want to take these team fights. Like, yes, you could reposition your team fights as well, but they don't really have a solid way of being able to catch up to and just missing lock the enemy team in place, right? Like a Rolling Thunder can. You can very easily chain lock people down. The Global Silence means that you're not able to get off a lot of your movement capabilities, but on MagMa, unless you're hitting like the trample component on the Stampede and blinking in and starting onto multiple, they're just going to be able to run away.
Yeah, maybe it'll get to the stage where once Scarred is completed on the Dusop, makes it a lot more difficult for Elephant to Kaido, because that's really the big issue at the moment, is that whenever MagMa reveal themselves, they just avoid the Dusop, go for the key components of the draft for MagMa, and really that key hero is the Lion.
It's going to be a little bit of time away though, and for me, the more important thing is that TZY, he's getting close to picking up his hood. Of course, going to be quite important against all this magic damage that Silencer and Storm Spirit are pumping out. But then after that, it's the Lotus Orb. That's going to be, if they can get to it without losing too much in terms of objectives on the map, whether that be towers or Roshan, I feel like MagMa can still be in an okay spot. You just need to make sure you're able to dispel that Global Silence onto yourself and then get the Stampede off.
Yeah, we've already seen one so far this game, that Global Silence, just to really disrupt the chain lockdown and that heavy burst that MagMa are requiring to have a strength in numbers here through the team fight. So all eyes on, you know, the cooldown here from Super's ultimate. I mean, he's already level 12 as well. He's
farmed.
Veil and Force. We already thought he was doing a decent amount of DPS with that Arcane Curse, and imagine now with the talent plus the Veil, and his farm's only going to increase. He's got a Philosopher's Stone too. Smoke on smoke though.
Another one of these plays.
I've got the high ground positioning. This is a great spot for them at the moment. It's going to be the Gleipnir reveal as well. They get rid of one of the best ways for MagMa to start these fights, and now they're looking for more kills as well as Yang charged up the
Still
Rolling
going.
Thunder. They at least have the
Just run away.
Stone Gaze to force back Elephant and reconsider them jumping on the Medusa. They're going to be careful again of their
Found the Shadow
positioning.
Feed.
They've been able to catch him out here very early on with the BKB on the high ground. Dust at least able to charge up the Requiem. Yang's really far away from any help of the support, but now Somna's instantly zipping on forward. They'll target through the Shadow Fiend. They can deal with the Undying, and now they'll leave the Medusa to last. Maybe the split shot is going to reign supreme here, but the damage from Eurus is too much to deal with. At least they'll get the Storm with the buyback from Mian. And maybe TZY can help out. They're pretty weak on Elephant, or maybe he'll just even sacrifice his life as well. He's got to keep in mind about Eurus's damage at the moment, and the return is doing absolutely nothing to halt Eurus's thoughts of getting the right click damage out. As it's a triple for your Clinks, and he's continuing to skyrocket in damage in these fights.
Again, you have to say that the MVP of that team fight is Yang. You know, he was standing in there right on top of 3 separate people, gets a 3-man shield crash, able to soak up more than 50% of the damage coming into him, Requiem included. Eventually does end up dying, but it just costs them so much attention to try and take out this pesky Pangolier, and in the meantime, your entire team's dead.
So, thoughts on Clinks? I mean, he's 4-3-8, but I feel like KDA's not really shown how he's been performing so far this game. It's seems like a bonkers hero.
He's dishing out the damage, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's even gone into the Ag Shot. I think that's a little different from a lot of these other heroes that we see. But of course, it's always going to be really beneficial against the heroes that want to be going into a Blink Dagger. You know, like the Lion, the Centaur. You need to be able to basically block off areas so that they can't run through them without the use of a smoke in the middle of a team fight.
It's just all the attack modifiers for Clinks. He's getting as many as he humanly possible here in one hero. He's going to be slot dependent pretty soon.
Good.
Yeah, all of them are incredibly good. Scotty especially versus Radiant's lineup.
Well, he's changed back up into the Daedalus. I don't know if I like that. I would much prefer having the Skadi for sure.
Speaking about
They're
Scotty,
lacking in damage.
Radiant on the Dusa has completed hers. They're looking to smoke up. They've got a pretty decent ward up by the top outpost. Jumping FY with 2100 health. Well, they're going to be forced to do so because they don't see anyone else. FY falling very low from the Medusa's right clicks. They'll trade a 1-for-1 to start the fight, but now Dire, can they still continue to stick around as they've caught out the silence? I mean, Super, look how far he is though. Still 4 staff makes to the low ground. TZY is ever going to dive deep aggressively, trying to take both of the supports out of the team fight, but it means now that the cause can potentially reign supreme. As Dust is going to get clipped out here, will still be okay. They're looking for a reset now with the Stone Gaze on cooldown. They still have to Stampede, but again, a beautiful use of the chain control, giving them no opportunity to have this fast positioning to make it away, but nonetheless, good reaction to the TPs, recognizing there's no ways to cancel it.
Under attack.
I mean, I feel like that extra movement forward was kind of forced, you know? You had the Undying who'd used the Flesh Golem, continued to move forward, and that probably was based off the fact that they've got this deep Observer Ward right next to the Dire Outpost and thinking, well, we've got a good start to the fight, they don't have the Global Silence, and Flesh Golem's used. We can't just back off. Maybe they could have opted to go into Roche instead and try and take it down, considering they did have the Medallion, you do have the Flesh Golem for the extra damage onto it, but just maybe they felt it was a little risky.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh, they're picking up Roche, yeah. Summoners?
I don't think you can take that one down, buddy.
He's willing into existence right now, Somnus. Dire CTZY. Global up in 20. What's that 15 talent for Super like? Arcane Curse, small buff up, I suppose. It's going Hexneck. He's actually so fun. He even has the Brigand's Blade. Who'd they give the Philo Stone to? No one holding it? Yeah, no one's holding it.
Who, by the way, Pudge is going into the Overlord.
Sleepney sets up. They don't actually get the hook, but at least they get a really valuable pick-off on the control from MagMa. Yang
nice blade.
Making sure there's no way to escape on the Stampede. Just clips him on the edge, and they even clip out the Medusa as well. Now, this is a bit deeper of a dive attempt, especially with the tombstone dropped as well. So Elephant, they're gonna have to think twice about if they really want to take this fight. But FY dragging further away from the defensive side of the high ground here, and now with the burning barrage from upside, there's no way to catch up the Clinks and stop this channel as it just rips apart the Deucer, and Elephant continuing to take successful team fight after successful team fight.
I mean, that's the Elephant that everyone expects to see. You know, really solid players across all positions, insanely individually skilled. They're going to be able to catch Kaz, maybe even Dust in time. Well, he's going to be forced to pop his BKB to get away. He's looking to use that extra movement speed as well on Kaz. It's not going to be enough, though.
Requiem, okay. Yang will still fall, though, finger and a Requiem drop, so a double ultimate has to be committed there to get the position 3 in. And Yang has been causing them an immense amount of chaos in these fights. FY?
Yeah, I mean, he's still the MVP tonight.
There's no... They're going in? Look at the damage from Somnus. My God. How do you play this game? They're so far ahead.
This is GG territory for mine. I don't think that was Somnus yet. There's the GG. It was all Eurus. Like, he just had a burning barrage from the trees, dealt 3,000 damage just in that singular team fight. It's crazy what you can do with this Clinks if you're given the space to farm in the laning stage, which he was, and the strength of the last pick overall Clinks, if you've got a good laning setup for it, it cannot be understated for sure.
Yeah, it was really cool how Elephant, they swapped the Pudge out of the Undying lane, recognizing that Silencer would have dealt a little bit more with the position 5 Undying as a ranged hero, and then you just give Clinks a body in the lane like the Pudge. He'll eat up abilities, eat up damage, and Eurus free farm. Somnus also, I mean, he absolutely popped off in this game. Like, what an incredible performance. This was your first phase Storm too. Like, they tried to answer it in the Shadow Fiend, and we didn't really feel the value of the Shadow Fiend this game, unfortunately.
No, I think I want to see more things like... I still feel like the Co-op is a good matchup against the Storm Spirit. You know, you're not relying so much on other people to rotate through. You're very self-sufficient. Maybe you're not be able to farm quite as quickly as the Shadow Fiend, but I feel like... Well, I guess they didn't know they were against a Clinks, right? So you can't really blame them all that much. But if they had something like the Co-op, then they would have, of course, be a lot bigger of a risk of just rushing into all of these damage items, the Falcon Blade straight into the Maelstrom without any kind of, you know, security for yourself in the laning stage. But very comfortable victory. Everyone's gushing over the position 1 and 2. Yang, for mine, though, he just enabled so many of those team fights. Yeah. And he's my MVP.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't just a singular performance that we have to highlight on Elephant. It was definitely just the overall gameplay from them, and you know, how they're able to set up their lanes and at least enable their cores to then be able to have a time where they can really bring these items into fruition in a lot of their fights. Like you said, Yang was how he was able to play with the Panglia was incredibly solid to help them with that control that, you know, they were kind of lacking through a stage before that Gleipnir. And that was also a really cool itemization to further enable the Pudge to find these hooks. And, you know, all in all, though, Elephant kind of coming into it, maybe expected, of course, taking a look at the caliber of teams. But nonetheless, I mean, this is only game 1. MagMa, they still have a long road ahead of them to potentially force a game 3 here, but they're going to need to try and switch something up, and well, we'll find out what that is after a short break.